Alright, so here we are with the Rise of Red Skull scenario 3, which is Taskmaster. And I've actually flipped that over a bit early. But in this, we're looking at the Hunting Down the Heroes. Contents is Taskmaster 1 and 2, Taskmaster, Hydra Patrol, and Standard Encounter sets, alongside the one modular encounter set, which is Weapon Master. Setup: set each captive ally aside, out of play. Search the encounter deck for Hydra Patrol and put it into play, and then shuffle the encounter deck. So, Hydra Patrol is in play here. In this, we have Hydra Soldiers perform routine patrols to maintain control of their territory. When defeated, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play engaged with them, and then shuffle the encounter deck. I am Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. This is using his leadership precon, which comes packed with the Rise of the Red Skull set itself. We will now, I believe everything else is done here. We've done the setup. On the side, our four captives are here. I'll shuffle that, and for posterity, I will shuffle the encounter deck as well. And with that, we'll treat these as the first hand for a mulligan and see where we can go. So, I would... Well, let me flip this over as well. Oops. So, in this Hunting Down the Heroes, the main ski, with a count of 12 per player, 1B, the notorious Taskmaster has been appointed Hydra's Chief of Police. His top priority is hunting down the outlaw heroes. The forced response here: after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, each player in hero form must choose to either place one threat here or take 1 damage. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. It goes up by 1 per player per turn. So, excuse me. Just to bear that in mind, that after step 1, every time I put threat on here, we either have to put extra threat or take a damage. And now, we do have a thing here. We have the action weapon of choice, which will allow us to search the deck for the deck and discard pile for the bow. But I think I might take my chances. The only thing I want to keep is strength, and I may get rid of everything else. So that's what I'll do first for the mulligan. Keep strength, get rid of all of these. Right, so we have a few options going on. Oh yes, and let's just remember the forced response here. After a player changes to hero form, they discard the top card of the encounter deck and take damage equal to the number of boost icons on that card. There's nothing you can do that I can't do better. So, have to bear that in mind too. Don't want to switch over too many times. Now, I kind of want to clear this and then maybe have something to do after. So it might be worth getting Mockingbird out, spending something else, and then going from there. I think that might be my thing here. So the first thing I will do is we'll do a weapon of choice. I'll spend Earth's mightiest heroes, which is an energy. Spend 1 resource of any type to search your deck and discard pile for Hawkeye's bow and put it into your hand. So we look at all our cards here. We'll go for bow. Here we go, Hawkeye's bow. That goes into the hand. Close and shuffle. That's done. I'll put that into play now. Now, I can't do a whole lot with this, can I? If we... Alright. I can't do a whole lot from here. What's this going to do? When the villain initiates an attack against you, spend 1 resource of any type and return Mockingbird to your hand to prevent all damage from this attack. That's good to know. So, that's an effective... It's an effective defense technique here, which might be our play. We get Mockingbird out, threat, and then do 2. So maybe that's the play. So I think that's all we do. I'll use a strength And I'll use a Goliath to play Mockingbird. Then I will flip over to Hawkeye's hero side. Quick draw, exhaust Hawkeye to ready the bow. So, after a player changes to hero form, they discard the top card of the encounter deck and take damage equal to the number of boost icons here. Right, so the card that we are discarding from the encounter deck is this. It's an assault with no boost icons, so we take no damage. We got off pretty lightly there. I may use Mockingbird. I will use Mockingbird to thwart this. And that clears it. And when defeated, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for Hydra minion. So let's look at the encounter deck. We want a minion. Who are the minions we can deal with? Hydra regular and this guy. I think we'll be taking the regular. That makes the most sense. I'll close and shuffle that. He comes into play. When this card is revealed, place one threat on the main scheme. This isn't revealed as far as I can tell, so each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play. So I wouldn't reveal that. I wouldn't consider that a reveal. Otherwise it would have said to reveal it. So he comes in. He doesn't do anything. I attack for 3. Let me just make some thing here. So that's going to do 3 damage to him, killing him. This is gone as well. I should actually discard them in order. This was done first, then this. And I don't think there's much else I can do at this point, except for going to the next phase. We'll go to the villain phase. So, right, part 1. 1 goes on the main scheme. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, each player in hero form, that's which I am, must choose to either place 1 threat here or take 1 damage. I think I'll take the damage to try and keep this guy going. He is then going to attack me, and I'm tempted to use this. When the villain initiates an attack against you, spend 1 resource of any type and return Mockingbird to your hand to prevent all the damage from this attack. So that's what I'll do. I will use Black Knight, physical resource, to return Mockingbird to my hand. Prevents all damage. The damage would be 1, 2, 3, 4. No damage done. And did I miss anything else there? I don't believe I did. Prevent all damage from the... Cool. Excuse me. So the next part is our encounter card. And the encounter card here is discard an upgrade or support you control. Well, that's unfortunately going to be our bow. And that is done. Right. So I'm hard pushed here. Very hard pushed. Maybe it's a build out position. I think I'll go 1 to get my expert marksman into play. I'll use this to get that into play. Exhaust Hawkeye's quiver. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an arrow. Look at all cards. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I made look at top 5. Let me shuffle that. Sorry, that was a mistake. Look at top 5 cards for an arrow, which we whiffed on. There is no arrows here. And excuse me, for an arrow event, and attach it face up to this card. So we don't have anything we can do here. I may try and threat this down because we're hurting here. That might be the option. I think you know what? I'll do 2 damage. We're miles away from this yet, so I'll do 2 damage. I'll go down. I'm tempted to keep this because that's a good defense. But I think no, that's a waste. So I'll do the weapon of choice, spend a resource. So this is the resource I'll spend, and I will search my discard pile. Look at all cards for my bow. That goes into my hand, and then this comes into play from my hand. Not much else I can do here. So let's go to the villain phase. So part 1, this goes up by 1. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, each player in hero form, I'm not in hero form, so nothing occurs. He's going to scheme. He's scheming for 1, 2, in the Hunted by Hydra, so that's something. And then we'll take our encounter card. What are the odds now this is going to be a scheme? It's not. It's Taskmaster's Shield. So he gains Retaliate 1 from this. I also need to exhaust my hero and spend a mental and a physical to discard this card. So Retaliate isn't a big issue for me right now because I think most of Hawkeye's kit is ranged. But we can see what we can do shortly. So with that in mind, I think maybe we'll go to the hero phase. I won't try anything funny here. I'll flip over, meaning after I change the hero form, discard the top card. I'll definitely take damage this time. 1, 2. I take 2 damage from his response, which is fine. Now, I'm going to use the quiver to search the top 5 cards. Look at top 5. We have an arrow. Oh, the Vibranium. Yes, that's the one we'll take. Put that down face down there. Attach it to this card. I know it doesn't say to shuffle, but I think shuffling is probably the correct action here. I don't think I should know what's coming up. With that now, each of your arrow attacks gains ranged. Right. We could bring him down with those. That will get him to the next phase. I wonder if this is worth getting rid of. Let's live dangerously. So I can play arrows attached to this card as if it were in my hand. So I go 1, 2 for Vibranium arrow. Exhaust the bow. The bow is here. Deal 6 damage. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to come out after, I think. So actually, I don't know why this came out, but I'll just leave it there. So that's done. And this is paid for. Now I could do a further 6 damage bypassing this. Or I could I do anything else? He comes in with like toughness. He's also getting ranged. 1, 2, 3, 4. That could come in, and that's an effective block for us. I wonder if damage is the way to go here. So you know what? I am going to exhaust this to ready myself up. I'm going to go here using War Machine and this to pay for it. It's going to do a further 6 damage, which pings him over to the next villain phase. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card. So again, an encounter card, which is what we'll have to deal with shortly. And then the forced response after a player changes to hero form, the same thing. So we have to be careful of our discards. I'll use the power of leadership. That should have also been exhausted for the Vibranium era. So I'll use the power of leadership to pay for team training. And I'll hold on to the energy for now. I think we're golden. I think that's all we're going to be doing for now. So let's go to the villain phase. 1 goes on to this. He's going to hit me form 1 or take a threat. I will put the threat on it. He's then going to attack me. And the attack is going to be 2 plus whatever's on that. I will defend. I think maybe just for safety. 1, 2, 3. He hits for 3. I've defended for 1. So I take 2 damage. And then the next part will be the second encounter card. First encounter card 1. Captured by Hydra, side scheme. When revealed, place 1 random set aside captive ally face down beneath this scheme. When the scheme is defeated, the player who defeated it takes that ally into their hand and removes this scheme from the game. So let's go here. Drawn, revealed. That is going to be the ally for this one. Kind of got away with that. Second one is Mimicry. It's a treachery. When revealed, hero, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. If any attack cards were discarded this way, Taskmaster attacks you. So let's discard the top 5 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So resource, event, upgrade, ally, ally. No attack cards were discarded. So we got away with that. Alright, that was a pretty soft encounter turn, which I'm rather happy with. Let's go to the hero phase. So what am I going to do here? I could use this. I could also use this. This is going to do 3. This might be the one to do. First off, I'm going to use a team training to pay for the second expert marksman. Then I'm going to Hawkeye's Quiver, hero action, look at the top 5 cards. Search the top 5 cards. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? Look at top 5. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an arrow. That's good. And that goes into this guy, and we'll close that and shuffle. Okay, I have very limited resources here. So, that's got 5 left. I've got 4. If I take 3 off of this. Yeah, I think the only thing I can do in this instance, I'll use an expert marksman to play this arrow and exhaust the bow. Remove 3 threat from the scheme. I'll take it from the main one. I think that's maybe all I can do. I'm going to flip down and call that a day for this turn. So that's fine. We'll call it a day. I'll hold on to these, knowing we can do a few bits in the next turn. So part 1 goes on to this. I'm not in hero form, so that doesn't get anything. This would put an extra 1 on it. Then he'd scheme for 2 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the bad card. Please don't be a scheme. In this instance, it's a Hydrocide arm attached to the villain. When attached villain attacks, the attack gains ranged. Okay. And then spend a mental and a physical resource to discard this card. Hero action. So again, a fairly soft turn there. Let's go to the hero phase. Now, oh, I'm so caught here. Well, let's see what we can do. I'm going to use this to heal 3. I'm going to flip over. I'm going to use this to search the top 5 cards. I don't think we have any left, but oh, we do. We have a Sonic Arrow. That goes under you. Close that. I did just make an error there because flipping over, I have to look at the top card. It's going to do 2 damage to me. Fine. Now, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place here. Deal damage. Maybe getting rid of this guy. So we get rid of mental and physical. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. And get rid of you. To get rid of this. Okay, now I can't exhaust, so he still has this. So I do have to deal with this. 3 damage to an enemy. We know 2 are coming onto this, so we have to use the cable arrow. Move 3 from this. Ignores anything, that's fine. But so little else that I can do here. Might use these two to pay for this, just so it's out. Hold on to the energy rather than anything else going on here. This could be the end of it, so we go to the next villain phase. 1-2 goes on to this. I take damage from it. He's going to attack me. How would I like to deal with it? I think I do have to defend. So he's hitting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've defended for 1. I take 4 damage, and that is game. Unfortunately, that's a player loss.